Hi, everyone. Lee Honish, Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan, bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. This is Fight Net Radio, and we are available exclusively on boxingtonight.io. I can't even get it out of my mouth. I'm not feeling well. My allergies are kicking my butt. I'm in Las Vegas, and I've been leaky. And I've been researching about being leaky, and it just says, yeah, here's why it happens. That's no help. I'm not a big fan of allergies, Andrew. I'm going to be perfectly honest. They're kind of irritating. Andrew, how are you?
Nah, doing good, Lee. Waiting for the big fights. Kind of excited, kind of not. I don't know. We'll see at the end of this show how excited I really am, I guess.
All right. Miguel, how are you?
Oh, Miguel's here.
Yes.
Yeah. We didn't start without
I thought you heard me earlier. Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right? It's just one of those unusual shows. But yeah, I'm doing good. No allergies, not yet at least. But I mean, my allergies are always acting up. It's never too bad. As soon as I feel them coming on, I pop one of those whatever 24-hour CVS allergy meds that they got over the counter stuff. But not too bad. I am kind of excited. I'm not fully excited yet. I never get excited for fights until like the morning of. So most likely I'll be more excited tomorrow.
More than likely you won't be until when we're done with this show. Yeah, this show is for boxing. If you're on Boxing Tonight, we are the exclusive property. We're them, they're us, whatever they want to call it. We want to call it. That's where you can see the show. You can see the video of today's events. There is video. It'll be there. There's a little player on it. Otherwise, subscribe, click the like button, smash whatever, do whatever, jerk off on the screen. If it's your first time, because it's a big event, hey, and you found us on Boxing Tonight, I have a bit of the sniffles that aren't really a cold, they're allergy, and it's really kind of irritating me to know it. So I will do my best to do all my voices and make this as funny as possible. And those two guys over there are very trusted reporters. They really, really care about this sport. Really, really. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We're only going to talk about one thing on this show today, and that's Plant versus Canelo. First, going into today, we'll start the panel here. Going into today, Andrew, did you see anything at all this week that made you believe in Caleb Plant?
No, no. As far as like coming out and I'm thinking he's gonna win the fight, no. I still have Canelo as my favorite. I watched a lot on Caleb this week, trying to see what he was going to do with a fighter like Canelo's caliber in front of him. And there's just really nothing to gauge what he's going to see on Saturday night. He's never been in the ring with someone like Saul Alvarez. And, a lot of the fights that he's in, his defense is good, but he's getting hit still a lot by guys that are just, B to C level opposition. So it's going to be a real hard fight for Caleb tomorrow. He's got the size. He has the offense, I believe, to make this a good fight. It's really about his defense and his game plan, how long this is going to last for him.
Yeah, more.
What I mean, if you don't know what I mean by that, here, I'll explain that. He's got to throw his punches and get the hell out of Dodge before the best counter puncher in the game counters on him. So that's really what he's playing with here. Does he have enough in him for 12 rounds to let his hands go and then be able to dodge the counter and get the hell out without Canelo getting points back? It's the only way he's going to win. His hands are constantly to his side. He throws his punches from his hip. These are bad what is it called, Miguel? Help me out here. These are bad
habits.
Habits. There you go. Yes, sir. These are bad habits to go into the ring with Saul Alvarez.
There you go. Miguel, same to you. Did you see anything that swayed any belief in Mr. Plant this week?
No. No, I did not. I too tried watching a couple of his recent fights, his last three. That's kind of what I like to do. I like to look at fighters, or specifically like challengers. I mean, he's got a title belt, but Canelo is the champ. Their last three fights just kind of gauge something. Andrew touched on it earlier. The only thing that I thought of was size. That would be his only, advantage. But I mean, he did come in a pound lighter than Canelo in the weigh-in, and then on top of that, what Andrew was saying. Basically, he's going to have to basically throw his hands and get out the fuck out of the way to make sure he doesn't get hit with a counter. And that's going to happen. He's not going to impose his size. He's going to be moving around like a motherfucker, and he's going to basically be dancing around for 12 rounds if he can make it 12 rounds. So, can he do that? I mean, he has the ability to do it for the first few rounds. I don't see him having the kind of power that's going to be able to earn Canelo's respect in the ring. So from what I've seen, I mean, he's called Sweet Hands, right? That's his nickname, but he doesn't exactly have the kind of knockout pop to be knocking out elite fighters. And I mean, his last fight with Caleb Truax went the full 12 rounds. So I don't know. Watching the last three fights here, nothing jumped at me to say, oh, here we go. He can probably win with this fight. No, not even that.
Not even his boxing ability, and that's what he's supposed to be known for in the PBC. That's it's his boxing IQ, like he likes to say. I seen him hit one too many times with guys. The speed is not the same, right? He's fighting guys. And Truax was like half bald. That's not Canelo. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's not. And he was having way success with him in that fight, landing punches. That was what stood out to me the most, was the defense and his lack of movement. He likes to do the head, the shoulder roll. He loves to do all that. Once again, it looks good when you're fighting C-level opposition. I think we said this before. This fight, I think, is going to be very similar to the Billy Joe Saunders fight, where Saunders came in, this real good boxer, undefeated. Everyone thought he was going to be able to go the rounds with Canelo, or at least put on a decent fight, and it just really didn't turn out that way. Once Saunders seen what level Canelo's actually at, I'm hoping tomorrow's a better fight, but I'm doubting it, because Saunders had better opposition than Caleb Plant does going into this fight. It really comes down to the guys that the PBC is putting in front of him. I don't know if they gave him a fair shot. Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Cut in at that for a little bit.
I was just going to end it with, I don't know if the PBC gave him a fair shot at fighting Canelo, setting him up for an opponent like Saul Alvarez.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that in just a moment. Let's take a breather from that for just a second and talk about the undercard. Anthony Durrell is fighting Marcos Henderson. We talked about this previously. We didn't even know Anthony Durrell was still in boxing. He is minus 420 and Marcos Hernandez is plus 330. Should I expect anything out of this undercard at all, Andrew Labouche? Fight. Undercard fight.
I would say no. I think we went over this undercard. It was basically, they put one together because it has to have one, but the money's in the main event. I would say no. I am a gambler. Durrell's nothing special, so I would probably lay a little money on the underdog. If you're just gambling out there in Vegas, why not put some money on the underdog going in against Anthony Durrell? I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
Miguel.
Yeah, that one I'm kind of not sure of. I mean, Anthony Durrell has been like a lifelong, damn near PBC guy. So, I feel like they kind of try to hook him up with a winnable fight. I mean, how many KOs? I think his opponent has like 3 KO victories or something like that. So, I think that's what it is if I'm looking at it correctly. But yeah, I mean, I don't see this guy's opponent Marcos Hernandez actually giving him any real trouble, unless of course Durrell's like really, really, really on the downside of his career, which he's trying to revive it. But I kind of feel like they're trying to give Durrell a little gimme fight.
Yeah, this is pathetic. This is the guy's last 4 fights. He's won 2, 1, and no knockouts.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't get any more safer than that. Matter of fact, people take the bet off the fucking table. What I just said,
Did I just convince you?
Yeah, you scratched that. We're going back to Durrell should win this fight. Hopefully it's not by decision. Oh, please, Lord, don't let it be by decision. I don't want them to watch this for 8 rounds. How many rounds is this going to be?
10.
10? Fuck! I hope he knocks him out.
It's a non-title fight, so it looking like a 10-rounder.
Is this the co-main? Lee, did you just give us the co-main?
No. It's
thank God. All right, thank God. Jesus.
The second fight of the night is Ray Vargas versus Leonardo Baez, who I'm guessing was driving a cab yesterday on the streets of Las Vegas. Ray Vargas, Miguel, give us some contextual background. Ray Vargas?
I'm getting the Vargas mixed up. Like, I swear, if it's not one, if it's the other. But I mean, from this particular Ray Vargas, 34-0, 22 KOs. It's gonna most likely be a one-sided ass whooping against another cab driver. But it's gonna be spectacular. At the very least, it's gonna be spectacular. It may not be the most competitive fight because I don't see Baez really doing much as far as holding his own for the full 12 rounds. I'm almost anticipating Vargas gonna take him out before the last round.
Andrew,
I don't
Ray Vargas?
I don't really know what the holdup is on this young man. Fights on the PBC. Am I correct about that, Miguel?
I want to say yeah, because I mean I don't remember the last time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe he does, and I remember the win when he won the title. He's 5'10", he's undefeated. He has knockout power. It's like, what's the holdup with this guy? I don't know the opponent. Already 21 wins, 4 defeats, so it doesn't look like he's a barn burner himself. He has a 3-fight win streak. Oh my God, you guys, a 3-fight win streak. Here's the records: 5-27. That was his last opponent. That's who he beat. The second, 16-19. And 3-36. Lee, this is your build a fighter to go get a championship shot, man.
Yes.
What? 3-36. 3-36.
My favorite. I didn't know you could actually find guys with records that bad. See, this is encouraging to me that when I win the $300 million lotto in California, I can turn all 3 of us into various weight champions. And I suspect now I just buy a WBC belt. It seems to be much cheaper. Can you make the civilian belt? Here's $1 million. I don't know. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So
what's your heritage, Lee? It's going to be like a Native American belt.
Yeah, right. It's got to be a Native American belt, right? I want indigenous people. Indigenous people. What a fuck. The co-main event is Elvis Rodriguez taking on Juan Pablo Romero in a super lightweight bout. This one will go the distance. The betting is -195 for Rodriguez and +165 for Romero, which means this is the one that's filling all the time before the 2 other knockouts, basically.
And just to cap up the Ray Vargas thing with the PBC, he is in a division that has Brandon Figueroa, Stephen Fulton as the 2. Brandon's number 1, Stephen Fulton's number 2, Luis Neri's number 4, Ronnie Rios is number 5. I believe all of these guys are PBC guys. This whole division's PBC. Yeah. What the fuck is the holdup? I don't get it. Brandon Figueroa just came off the biggest win of his career. Him and Ray Vargas should be one of the hottest fights in boxing. Miguel, am I off here? 30. They both are tall. They're both are exciting fighters. They got knockout power. I don't understand what we're holding. And both undefeated. I don't understand. And then Stephen Fulton, he's the young American that's been. I think he fights on Showtime all the time. I don't understand what the holdup is with the Ray Vargas thing. But yeah, that's.
Well, this could be a setup because, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Fulton and Figueroa are going to fight at the end of this month. I think it is. I forget what specific date it was, but they were supposed to fight, and then COVID kind of fucked things up, and they're going to have another fight. So I wouldn't be surprised if the winner of Figueroa and Fulton ends up fighting Vargas next.
All right. Now, hopefully.
There you go. Co-main event. Elvis Rodriguez, minus 195. Juan Pablo Romero, plus 165. Or as we like to say, I said this joke. Am I caught in a loop? I feel like I did this part of the show already. Did I just do this part of the show? Then we went back to more about Ray Dan Vargas? I'm just checking, right? I'm not losing my mind. Okay. Woo. I did take a lot of Benadryl, and I just wanted to know whether or not I had a stroke. I'm kind of excited about it. All right. Rodriguez versus Romero. I will start with you this time, Miguel. Is it even watchable?
I mean, first off, Rodriguez is coming off a loss. I believe it's his first loss of his career. They're trying to, build him up, of course, trying to make him the next. I think he's a Dominican. So trying to be another, Latino star with PBC, and he ends up coming up with a loss in his last fight. So I think there's still the promotional umph is still behind Rodriguez. So I'm sure they're going to try to match him up with Romero's a beatable opponent like Romero. So is it watchable? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. We can probably skip it. We can probably skip it and wait until the main event. Basically, you can flip it over to the UFC until this fight, until the main event starts.
And really, Andrew, this is a big moment for Juan Pablo Romero. He's undefeated. He's going up against a known prospect, I guess you would say, for the PBC. Mm-hmm. Alvin Rodriguez, though, he only has 13 fights. He has a draw and a loss already on his record. So, that's a thin ice he's playing on as far as being a prospect, right? You can't have 2 defeats and a draw in your first 14 bouts. You're really not a prospect. Yeah. So really, this is a shot for Juan Romero to get his career off here. He 14-0-9. If he could get that win, hopefully a knockout, looking pretty good on the record coming up.
There you go. Which takes us to our main event of the evening. Yes, that's a shout out for our producer, Sam Navajero, who is in Australia, and for some reason that's the way he actually says that. Main event of the evening. All right. It is Saul Canelo Alvarez taking on Caleb Plant. First of all, let's just go racially biased and see where you guys are on this. Caleb Plant is possibly the whitest human being ever to be produced by the PBC. Taking on a very pro-Mexico cultured Saul Canelo Alvarez. First real question that I have for the panel, starting with you, Miguel. Will we see racial violence with the white people getting fucked up by Mexicans?
There's a high chance. There's a high probability, yes. I mean, there's going to be plenty of alcohol.
Well, that's making the blind assumption that there are people who are Caleb Plant fans, I realize.
Right. That travel from Tennessee or wherever.
That's a big stretch. That would travel from, I don't know, where is he, Tennessee or Arkansas?
I mean, he lives here, but he's from originally from Tennessee or something.
Nashville, Tennessee, yes, sir.
Fucking podunk redneck motherfucker. By the way, for any of you going, but Lee, aren't you white? I'm looking at the video of you. You're quite white. Yeah. And I got a cousin who married someone named Skeeter. Okay? Don't ask too many questions. I just wanted to get that out there. Andrew, do you think we'll have a good white on brown crime spree happening, or vice versa?
Yes. I hope it's a good fight, Lee. We got an American.
No, not the fight.
We got an American. We got a Mets. Oh, and the fans. Oh, geez. I hope not. But I got to say, I think at every major fight, you're going to have one or two little scuffles in there.
You're toxically putting real Trump-loving, QAnon-supporting white people.
No, you can't say that. Why? Just because it's Caleb Plant, you think he's a Trump supporter? That's not right, Lee.
Why is that not right?
Yeah, because Caleb Plant has done nothing to prove to show you that he's a Trump supporter.
Right now, I am racially profiling him, and I'm going to say, statistically speaking, well, okay, we all know that white people are dumb, but number 2, he's from over there, where all those stupid people are that believe in that horse shit.
Are you telling me if we look at the Tiki Torches photo, Caleb Plant with
San
the trucker
Francisco,
hat
Andrew,
is in
aren't
the back?
you gay? Look,
oh my God! You're from San Diego. Hold on now. You're from San Diego. Aren't you gay?
If we're stereotyping, I guess so. I think my humor is escaped and lost on people. I hope Sam listened to that sequence and laughed and went, classically, whatever you say in Australian. I did that Irish almost. Classically, right? And he's just laughing and he goes, now he's going on an internal rant with the voice in his head for me to listen to while he tries to do an impression of me.
Now that I think about it, I think about it, Lee, that would probably have been a better way to sell this fight if Caleb would have came out and said he supported Trump.
Go full MAGA.
He's gonna have a jersey on.
Oh my God, it would have been great. Trump is gonna walk him out.
Build the wall. Finish that wall. Yeah. Then Al Heyman's
that's what you say at the press conference.
Al
Heyman. What are you gonna do on May the 6th, Caleb? I'm gonna build the wall and keep the Mexican out.
I'm gonna donate my purse to continue building the wall.
I'm gonna build the wall in the ring and keep the Mexican out.
Al Heyman's crying somewhere, you guys. He needs to make this. He needs to make this money back.
There would have been 100 million people on that telecast. 100 million. It would have been the highest viewed professional fight in the history of fights. White people everywhere would be throwing money at their screen going, why doesn't it work when I throw money at the computer box?
Throwing empty cans.
Whatever. Or return the cans, watch the fight.
Pabst Blue Ribbon to the fucking...
We know how to sell a fight. You guys fighting it. That's all we're doing. We're just selling a fight here. It's all business. It's all business, baby.
I'm telling you, this would have been the single most viewed fight in the history of boxing. I turn now delicately and very carefully to a man who's in the studio with me. He is also suffering from sinus issues. Let's hope for the best. Mr. Bobber. Good evening. Yeah, it's not really there today, guys. I can't hit it without phone. But if Bob were here, he would say, as a man who's been alive for close to 3 centuries, why wouldn't you? Right?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you do it? I mean, you've come this far. You made it a big deal about him not fighting. You made it a big deal about the belt. You went back and forth squeezing every fucking dollar you could out of him. BBC is fantastic on this fight, right? Like, they think they've won because they got Caleb Plant, $5 million or whatever little shitty purse they got him, and squeezed probably every angle to put this fight together out of Eddie Hearn, which is the only reason Eddie Hearn is around. He doesn't want to deal with the PBC, and Eddie Hearn kind of has a relationship with him. You guys not understand why this all happened, or am I the only one watching what's happening?